Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
And today, we're here with a long-forgotten segment type, the good theology of
St. Elmo's Fire.
by John Parr.
Yes, we're not discussing the movie, because although we probably all saw it, it was a very long time ago. We are not discussing the book.
Also, I don't know if that one falls. Because it's been so long. I don't know if it would fall under the good theology or the bad theology.
I'm confident it's a Gus Van Sant movie. There's bad theology.
Yeah.
Yes, we're not discussing the book that doesn't have fire in the title, because the plotline reminded me too much of Pamela, the book I was assigned twice in college and never read once.
And we're not discussing the life of Dr. St. Elmo Brady.
No. We are discussing the song St. Elmo's Fire from the 1980s.
Let's dive into the lyrics.
Yeah. So, growing up, you don't see the writing on the wall. Passing by, moving straight ahead, you knew it all.
Now, this describes so many of us. Now, of course, the phrase, the writing on the wall, comes from the book of Daniel. And we all know that when you're young, when you're a punk, you think you know it all, when really you know virtually nothing.
And when you think you know it all, you are likely to not see the writing on the wall. It's a pridefulness thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yes, and unlike in the Bible, it's usually not done with like fire on giant, it's a metaphorical writing.
But maybe sometime, if you feel the pain, you'll find you're all alone. Everything has changed.
Each of us has been there.
Yep. This is what has been referred to as the dark night of the soul.
Yeah, you may be there right now.
Mm-hmm. Some of us, everybody's probably been there at least once. Some people for longer, some people for shorter. Some people might find that they come back to this place in waves. Mm-hmm. They come out and they go back in. It's not your fault. It's the tide of your life, kind of a thing.
And because that's just life. You play the game. You know you can't quit until it's won.
You soldier on, because only you can do what must be done.
You know, in some way, you're a lot like me.
You're just a prisoner, and you're trying to break free.
Because everyone is looking for happiness. Everyone is looking for freedom. Even people who are throwing themselves deeper into the slavery of sin are looking for freedom.
Everybody wants that connection. That connection to something.
Mm-hmm.
And some people find that connection in a lot of things. Most of those things, they tend to fall short in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We talk about the God-shaped hole in every human heart. Mm-hmm. Because no matter what you're into, no matter what you're looking for, what you're really looking for is the source of ultimate good.
You're trying to fill an infinite-sized hole with a finite-sized thing.
But it's good that you won't quit until it's won. If you're seeking, keep seeking. If you search honestly, you'll eventually find him.
And if you are in that moment of spiritual dryness, that dark night of the soul where everything that worked just doesn't seem to be working, it's like sometimes life is like a journey through a desert. You've got to have those spots where you just got to keep walking to the other side, because eventually you're going to get to that oasis.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, pretty soon there's going to be some drums and maybe some synth in this song, and it's going to perk right up. Because it's the 80s. Can you think of, 5 depressing songs from the 80s that actually felt depressing?
That's fair.
Yes, the entire catalog of the Smiths.
But, if you keep pressing on...
All right, that's one.
The Cure.
You'll be able to see a new horizon underneath the blazing sky.
The very unhappy songs of Joy Division.
I mean,
Oh.
the Cure was more, goth, where it was, we want to be sad, so...
You just said songs from the 80s.
All right.
Regardless, we're not getting sidetracked.
But no.
But that's all we do. We're discussing a song from the 80s.
That's fair. I can see it with only a tangential link to a saint.
I can see a new horizon underneath the blazing sky.
I'll be where the eagles flying higher and higher.
Like on the sea, which he was the patron of.
Again, don't have On Eagle's Wings played at your funeral.
No, it's
Just
a
don't.
terrible choice. Just skip it.
But it is a biblical image. We fly higher and higher on eagle's wings.
Unless the entire funeral is done in sign language, because it is absolutely beautiful in sign language.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yep.
could see that.
Yep. Yep. Gonna be your man in motion? All I need's this pair of wheels. Take me where my future's lying. St. Elmo's fire. You were made for more than what you can see. You were made for more than this world. You have a future beyond whatever you're mired in today.
Much like the fourth state of matter of plasma, which St. Elmo's fire makes up.
Burn it up? I don't know just how far I can go.
Possibly through the plasma.
Plus, eye has not seen, ear has not heard.
Yeah.
There's more waiting for you than you have any idea.
Soon be home. Only just a few miles down the road. Even if you are... None of us has really any knowledge of how long we'll be on this journey.
Nope.
But at the same time, even if you were at the beginning of the journey, in comparison to the infinite of time of God's timelessness, the time between here and the end, it's just a blip. You know, the longer, how to put it.
Are
We
you
often-
going to get one of those giant ones, like both versions of the cosmos, where it's like, if the world was a year, all right, on December 31st at 5 p.m. we have technically the first humans.
But
I know that's probably
time
early.
time
It's probably
10
like 11.
for as linear as it is, time tends to move in non-linear ways. You know,
The path is narrow. It's not straight.
when you were 10 years old, 10 years seemed like a long time
Sure.
because it
that
was
was
the
double your
entirety
lifetime.
because it was the entirety of your life. Whereas when you're 40, well, 10 years is it's not a short amount of time, but it's not
But the decades are just flying by
exactly.
this point.
Time tends to work like a roll of toilet paper. The longer you keep that roll spinning, the faster the roll spins. And while it may feel like time is just not moving and everything's slowed down and it's gonna be like this forever, it's really not that long.
You know, same
And I mean, it's not gonna be that long until things do start to get better. You know, it's you just gotta kind of.
But it's going to get better because we're getting to the bridge, which is very upbeat.
Yeah, but you know, soon be home because you're only just a few miles down the road.
And whatever you're going through, you know, St. Peter, a man who was martyred, wrote that, you know, the inconveniences of this, you know, the sufferings of this life will just seem like a minor inconvenience compared to the glory that awaits.
St. Paul spent a significant amount of time in prison.
Always writing about joy.
And he was focused on the destination.
I can make it. I know I can. You broke the boy in me, but you won't break the man. But each of us is called to spiritual maturity. Sure, we here on the Popish Plot, we like to have fun.
We enjoy being very immature when we have the freedom to do so.
But each of us is, in our own way, striving for spiritual maturity. You know, when we were little baby Christians, we could only handle spiritual milk. We hope that we're progressing towards, you know, real, you know, juicy spiritual steak.
Looking for that porterhouse.
Maybe a ribeye.
Yeah.
Spiritual ribeye.
Just throw down the complete set of the suma and go, there you go.
Big spiritual tomahawk chop right there on the plate with some mashed potatoes and gravy.
Well, at that point, you're getting the books from Greek because that was the language of the day, and they did not translate them.
So again, you know, we go through the great chorus, and then we're back to, I can climb the highest mountain, cross the wildest sea. I can feel St. Elmo's fire burning in me.
Burning in me. You were made for greater things.
You were made for adventure.
Even when you are at your lowest point, there is an almost infinite gap between your lowest point and what you, in your perfected self, can be capable of.
It's going to be amazing.
And we need to keep striving towards that perfected self. We won't see it in this world. So not quite getting there isn't that big a deal. But we need to keep moving towards that point. Because the alternative is effectively moving away from it.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's Leon Bloy who said the only real tragedy in this life is not to be a saint. You're an eternal being. You have no say in the matter. You're going to exist forever. But in this life, you have the choice. Are you going to soar? Are you going to be more than you could ever imagine? Or, by the choices that you make today, are you going to spend your eternity not in a joyous 80s chorus of synth drums, but in a tiny, cramped little cage of yourself? I don't know, whatever the terrible musical equivalent of that is.
Yeah. I can hear the music playing. I can see the banners fly. Feel like you're back again and hope riding high.
Gonna be your man in motion because this life is a pilgrimage.
All I need's this pair of wheels.
Take me where my future's lying. St. Elmo's fire.
And then the bridge too.
Yeah.
Well, the chorus.
Back to the chorus. Back to the chorus, and then the post-chorus bridge. And
So you had some information on the actual song and how it is not just it was for a Brat Pack
it wasn't
film,
just meant to be an uplifting song for a Brat Pack film. Apparently,
which explains the wheels, but not the minimal St. Elmo's fire metaphor.
Well, no, that's because it was featured in the movies. They're like, can you throw in the title? Sure. What does that have to do with anything? Oh, nothing really. But no, I listened to the Krista Makes a Podcast songwriting podcast, and in February, Mr. DeMakes had John Parr as his guest, and he explained that he wrote St. Elmo's Fire about a man named Rob Hansen, who was a Paralympian, who at the time was conducting a very long fundraising pilgrimage in his wheelchair, known as the Man in Motion Project.
awesome.
I can be your man in motion. All I need is this pair of wheels.
Yep. Just the two wheels on the side of the chair.
So
no, I mean, there's little ones.
There's
in the
little
front
ones in the
usually.
front to help you balance, but yeah.
and so we will include a link to that episode in the description below. It's worth a listen, even if you don't enjoy, songwriting podcasts, just because it's a good story. Plus, the entire time you'll be like, I need a man in motion. I need this pair of wheels.
It's a fantastic, uplifting song.
It's a very great song. It's a really peppy song.
I believe the whole reason why we had this in St. Elmo on our list was we started singing this song for some reason.
Yes. And as we were doing so, we're like, we haven't done a good theology in a while. This works.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
So, go out there and look for the good theology in your life. And maybe go down in the comments below and share it. Because, if we find some good pieces, we will happily go and share it with others.
Or, if you want to feed our darker instincts, go out and find some bad theology.
Oh, we love the bad
and we'll be
theology.
happy to rip it to shreds.
Yeah.
Explore the theology
It's good
of
catharsis.
Andrew McCarthy movies.
It's
Maybe-
good catharsis to tear apart something that's theologically terrible.
Maybe
Rubbish.
don't tell us if you think it's good or bad and see if we agree.
Yeah,
There
just
you
be
go.
like, I'd really like to know what you think about X.
Comment below. Give this episode a like, subscribe to our channel, ring the church bell to be notified whenever we report on our verdict on the good or bad theology of what you recommend.
And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.